It's the third day of the month. Margaret, who is 71, settles in at her kitchen table holding a cup of coffee. She opens her banking app, just as she does every single month. She's expecting to find her Social Security deposit, but the figure looks off. It isn't the full sum, it's half. Half of everything she depends on, half of what covers her rent, her food, her medications. Her heart begins to race. Did the bank slip up? Was her account broken into? Has her Social Security disappeared? Then it comes back to her. A letter had arrived a couple of weeks earlier. A letter she'd put aside because it seemed confusing. A letter she planned to read later on. That letter was actually a warning, and because she failed to respond in time, the government had just begun pulling half of her check, all on its own. If Social Security supports you, this same thing could reach you, and the majority of folks never notice it approaching. Hello there, and breathe in slowly. I am Milena, a senior policy analyst. My entire purpose is to take these tangled government rules and break them down for you in simple terms, the same way I'd explain them to my own mother. So I'd like you to settle in for the next few minutes, because I'm going to guide you through precisely what this rule is, precisely how it operates, and precisely what steps you can take to safeguard every single dollar of your check. This situation is known as a Social Security overpayment. And there's a rule surrounding it that hardly any seniors truly grasp. Handle it correctly, and you stay safe. Overlook it, and you might forfeit as much as half of your monthly benefit. And please, remain with me. You might right up to the finish, because there's one tiny error that even cautious, responsible seniors commit. It's an error that silently strips people of their payments, and I'll teach you how to steer clear of it. Let me share Robert's story with you. Robert is 67. He put in 40 years of work. He contributed to Social Security with every paycheck he ever earned. He's a careful person. He settles his bills promptly. He keeps his home in order. He is precisely the type of man who handles things responsibly. One afternoon, Robert received a letter from the Social Security Administration. The letter stated he had been overpaid. It said he needed to return money. The figure was more than $4,000. Now here's the truth of it. Robert hadn't done a single thing wrong. The overpayment came from a computer mistake on Social Security's side, but Robert had no idea of that. He stared at the letter. He felt that tightness in his stomach. And he told himself, well, it's the government. They've got to be right. I suppose I owe this. So he did what many decent, honest people do. He chose to simply repay it gradually. He set the letter aside. He assumed he had loads of time. He assumed he'd handle it the following month, but the clock was already running, and Robert had no clue a clock even existed. 30 days slipped by, and on his next payment date, Robert checked his account, and half his check had vanished, exactly like Margaret. The government had begun collecting all by itself. Now Robert was panicking. He spent hours on the phone. He was frightened. And the worst part of all, he may never have owed that money to begin with. Robert committed 3 small errors. By the time this video ends, you'll know how to dodge each and every one. So let's begin at the basics. What exactly is an overpayment? Based on Social Security's own website, an overpayment is simply when you receive more money than you were supposed to. It can occur for a whole range of reasons. Perhaps a shift in your income wasn't logged. Perhaps a life change, such as marital status or your address wasn't updated. And this matters greatly. Quite often, it isn't your fault whatsoever. Sometimes it's just a plain computer mistake on Social Security's end. In truth, AARP reports that a sizable portion of these overpayments stem from Social Security's own errors, not from anything the senior happened to do wrong. So please take this to heart. Simply receiving a letter does not mean you genuinely owe that money. Robert presumed he did. That was his very first error. Now here's the part that strikes your check. Here's the source of that half your check. For overpayment notices dated on or after April 25th, 2025, Social Security may withhold up to 50% of your monthly benefit until that balance is cleared. Let me put it plainly. Half of each check until it's settled. Now, if you collect SSI or if your notice predates that April 2025 date, the figure is far smaller, only 10%. But for the majority of standard Social Security retirement checks nowadays, the number worth remembering is 50%. Now here's the rule that gives this video its title, the unseen clock. Social Security states it typically grants you roughly 90 days from your notice to react, to appeal, to request a waiver, or to seek a lower repayment rate. That's the cushion people refer to. But, and this is the part that snares people, there's a tighter, more pressing clock concealed inside that 90 days. Here's how it genuinely functions. Pay close attention. Social Security holds off at least 30 days after mailing your notice before it starts collecting. If you take no action in those 30 days, the 50% withholding kicks in automatically. That's what struck Robert and Margaret. But if you submit an appeal or a waiver within those first 30 days, Social Security won't take a single dollar until they reach a decision on your case. That is the strongest protection available to you. Move within 30 days and you halt the collection. That's the golden window. And there's one further deadline you must know. If you wish to challenge whether you owe the money at all, your firm legal deadline to appeal is 60 days from the moment you receive the notice. So keep these three numbers in mind: 30 to halt it, 60 to fight it, 90 is merely the general grace stretch. When uncertain, move within 30 days. Sooner is always safer. Now here's the error I promised you, the one even careful people stumble over. It's the gap between an appeal and a waiver. These are two entirely separate things, and choosing the wrong one can cost you valuable time. An appeal is when you believe you weren't overpaid, or the amount is incorrect. You use Form SSA-564. A waiver is something else. A waiver is when you accept that you were overpaid, but the mistake wasn't your fault, or you simply cannot manage to repay it. You use Form SSA-632, and there's a third useful form. If you accept the debt, yet you can't get by on half a check, Form SSA-634 allows you to request a smaller monthly repayment figure. Social Security can extend repayment, in most situations up to 5 years. So please don't simply seize the wrong form or file both together, since that can hold everything up. Choose the one that suits your circumstances. And what occurs if you take no action, the way Robert nearly did? The fallout is real. If you're still receiving benefits, they hold back up to half your check until it's repaid. If you've stopped getting benefits, Social Security can claim your federal tax refund, claim certain state payments, or even garnish your wages. It's serious. But here's the encouraging part. It is nearly always preventable if you respond in time. So let's keep this straightforward. If you ever receive one of these letters, here are the 3 steps to shield yourself. Step 1. Open each letter from Social Security on the very day it shows up. Don't set it to the side. Locate the date on the notice and circle it. That date marks the beginning of your clock. The single riskiest thing you can do is delay. Step 2. Respond within 30 days. If you suspect the bill is mistaken, submit an appeal using Form SSA-561. If you agree yet it wasn't your fault or you can't afford it, submit a waiver using Form SSA-632. And if you merely need smaller payments, use Form SSA-634. The quickest way to begin? Phone Social Security directly at 1-8007-721213 or stop by your local office. You can frequently start a waiver right over the phone. Step 3. Hold on to copies of everything. The letter, the form you submitted, the date you sent it, the name of anyone you talked with. Note it all down. If a dispute ever arises, your records are your safeguard. That's all. Open it. Respond within 30 days. Preserve your records. Do those 3 things, and you place the power back into your own hands. And one honest word from me to you. Rules like this have shifted more than once over recent years. So before you act, take a single minute to verify the current details directly at ssa.gov. That way you'll always hold the most up-to-date information. Now, before you head off, I want to share something important. YouTube doesn't always surface my videos for you. The notification bell doesn't always sound. And when a rule like this shifts, when a fresh deadline surfaces, or a new policy quietly takes hold, you can't afford to be the last one to learn of it. Margaret and Robert learned too late. I don't want that to be your story. So here's what I'd ask of you. Check the description beneath this video. You'll find a link to join our community, where I share timely updates on Social Security, pensions, bank rules, insurance, and travel regulations for seniors, as soon as they happen. This community is an educational resource and is not affiliated with the SSA, and we will never request your Social Security number, banking details, or any payment. Once you join, you can also download our free Senior Benefits Protection Guide. It's a simple checklist that walks you through exactly what to do should one of these letters ever land in your mailbox. It costs you nothing at all. It's simply my way of making certain you're never taken by surprise. So go right ahead, click that link, join us, and grab your free guide today. Because the seniors who stay well informed are the seniors who keep every dollar they've worked so hard to earn. Thank you for spending this time alongside me. Look after yourself, pass this along to someone you care about who relies on Social Security, and I'll see you in the next one.